So I'm gonna do a reaction video to Caleb Williams crying in his mother's arms, like the cream puff that he truly is, and you know how the liberal media eats this up. And he's a kid. He's not a kid. He's a grown man. Okay, he's a young man. He needs to get his emotions in check. Quarterbacks are a leader of men in locker rooms. So painting your fingernails and before games and at press conferences after you get your ass kicked and you say, I'm going to go home and cuddle with my dogs and watch my shows. Oh, yeah, you know what? You're just going to really inspire a locker room with that kind of nonsense. Shador Sanders, I'd love to see Caleb Williams trade places with Shador Sanders and take the beating that he took the entire year. And this little cupcake, he'd be in a mental institution somewhere sucking on a binky in with his pink blanket. So let's watch the video.
Saturday evening, USC lost again. The defense can't stop anybody. Granted, they were playing a very good team.
Here we go with the excuses. Listen, USC is the most overhyped team in the entire country in college football. They knew going into this year that they couldn't tackle anybody, and it shows. They're decent offensively, but when you give up 65 points a game, you're not going to beat anybody. They've lost 3 games already, and they'll probably finish the year at 500. So let's continue with the Caleb, whatever hell his name is. Caleb Williams, he's the best player in the country. No, he's not the best player in the country. He's mentally fragile. He's not a leader of men. He shouldn't be the first overall pick. And then when you hear his ignorant statements, he hasn't played it down in the NFL, and he's saying how he should be part of an NFL team. It shows you how delusional that this cupcake really is. Okay, if I'm an NFL team, I ain't touching this dude with a 10-foot pole with his emotional. He's fragile emotionally, and when you're a rookie quarterback going into the league, you're probably going to be 8-8 your first year, or probably have a losing record. And I don't think he could take it.
In Washington at the Coliseum with a very good quarterback, and Michael Penix at the Coliseum, and they lost again 52-42. USC is now 7-3 on the year with losses in 3 of their last 4, and it doesn't get easier. They get at Oregon and then home for UCLA these
Oregon.
Last 2 games.
UCLA is
Alex Grinch, the defensive coordinator, was fired yesterday by Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, let's blame it on a defensive coordinator that your defensive players couldn't tackle like a tire rolling through the defense. They can't tackle anybody, but let's blame the defense coordinator.
So things are not great right now at the Coliseum. It was another tough loss for a quarterback who...
Tackling is a mentality. Okay, you could work on technique all you want and this and all this pretty stuff, and guess it's really a mentality. That's what it is.
Nearly put up 50 points again and had his team lose. Caleb Williams won the Heisman. Caleb Williams, most of you think, will be the number 1 overall pick when he decides to come out this year or next, although Drake May in North Carolina may have some say in that. After the game, Caleb Williams went over to the stands where his family was there in the front row. We see this every day, Saturday and Sunday, where players go.
Look at this Me Too. Look at this all about me moment, like in Caleb Williams' college football career. This wasn't planned. Like he didn't know it would be all about him. Hey, listen, how about you get in a locker room with your teammates and try to figure things out instead of being a dramatic little train wreck with your pink tutu on, crying on your mom's shoulders. If I'm an NFL GM, I'm turned off. This, of course, liberal ESPN eating this up like this was some big moment and this means he cares. No, what this really means is he can't get his emotions under wraps. Would Joe Montana act like this? When Tom Brady loses big games in the Super Bowl, does he get up at the stand on the mic and say, you know what, I'm going to go home and watch my shows and cuddle with my poodle? Now, but leave it to Caleb Williams, a guy that hasn't won anything in his career, no national championship, hasn't played it down in the NFL, and wants to be part owner of an NFL team. It just shows you how delusional he really is.
Go over and say hi to their family. Caleb jumped up onto the railing, and he put his head on his mom's shoulder, and then seemingly he got emotional.
Oh, Gavin Siciliano, what a story. You're just eating this up, aren't you? Aren't you, Gavin? I mean, you know what, Gavin? Maybe you can paint his fingernails before the game. Instead of doing them black, you can do purple and pink.
His mom hugged him. I mean, come on, he's a kid here.
Oh, he's a kid. He's not a kid. He's a young man. He's not a kid. Oh, come on, he's a kid here. It's just like this is the 2023. First of all, his coach should have went over there and said, "Get down now and get in the locker room with the rest of your team." That's what he should have did.
His mom wrapped his arms around him.
Oh, she wrapped his arms around
him. She had
him.
her hand, a program, a piece of paper, whatever it was, a sign, maybe a sign for the front row, covered his head.
Oh.
And it seemed pretty obvious.
What a story.
That he was crying.
Oh my God, my heart is aching right now.
Here's what Caleb Williams said afterwards when he talked to the press.
I want to go home and cuddle with my dog and watch some shows.
I want to go home and cuddle my dog and watch some shows. And this dude wants to be a... Wait, before this clown even played it down in the NFL, he's demanding to be part owner of the team. You know, what he needs is a good psychiatrist, and maybe he needs to be institutionalized for a little while to get his emotions in check. Maybe his estrogen is high.
I don't know what, we lost a game. Something to work hard for throughout months, years.
Look at his teammates shaking their heads.
Try and go win, play your best. Each and every one of us.
Look at this dude. What is he wearing?
So emotionally, I want to go.
Is he wearing some lingerie? The guy next to him.
He turns 22 in 12 days.
He's a kid, right, Gavin?
I am 49. I don't have a dog. I grew up with one. I've had plenty of days at the office where I want to go home and crawl under the covers and sit with my dog.
Oh, that's cute, Gavin.
Or with a
you
bottle
can just
of
relate
brown
to
liquor.
him. You're soft.
Whatever it is, but turn the lights off and be with myself in my own head.
Oh, that's so cute.
A lot of guys cry after games.
Hey, listen, in the NFL, you don't got time to feel sorry for yourself. You only got 16 weeks, and those weeks go by fast. So when things are going wrong, you don't got time to go lay under the covers and cuddle with your dog. You need to get in the film room, and you need to figure it out and stop feeling sorry for yourself. And, you know, if you young guys are watching this and you're watching Mr. Siciliano here, you know, show his emotional side, I got really bad news for you. When you get into the real world, nobody gives a shit about your fragile feelings. So you need to get it together.
You know, they put a towel over their head on the sideline. What do you think they're doing? Smiling? No. Sometimes they're crying.
Oh, Gavin.
A lot of guys go into clubhouses or locker rooms after the game and let it out.
Gavin, just have a good cry on there.
So Caleb
just
Williams
have a good
let it
emotional
out
cry, will you?
on the sideline, in the stands with his mom. Big deal. There are a lot of people out there, honestly, professional trolls, if we're being honest, both on Twitter.
You look like a troll, but I mean, I guess that's a whole different video.
And on these shows where you scream and yell for a living, there are a lot of people out there that want to not.
And what do you do, Gavin? You show your emotional side? You're going to show us the thong that you bought for the summertime? What do you do?
Caleb Williams say maybe he's not the number one pick now. I don't want that guy in my locker room leading.
No, a lot of offensive linemen wouldn't want this clown in their locker room, and a lot of defensive players would not want this type of dude being their leader of men in their locker room, Gav. I know this is hard for you because you need to show your feminine side, but, you know, a lot of men don't want this type of guy leading them.
Leading my team. I saw somebody that shall remain nameless, undraftable, on Twitter over the weekend. Shut the hell up. Come on, man.
Losers, man.
First of all,
Yeah, they're
you're
loser-
lucky enough to
losers,
still have
man.
Your mother around, and you're able.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. When were you ever in shape in your life that you went through any type of physical pain whatsoever, and you're going to understand what it takes to win any type of sporting event, whether it was like, even if it was hula hoop?
Able to give her.
Bam. Thank you, TJ.
Because Andrew, for as much
Exactly.
pain as I was in last
Look at
night,
this
I told
guy.
you guys, I would have
Exactly.
done anything in the world just to be able to have my mom give me a hug.
Oh,
when
that's
I was
cute.
in pain last night.
Exactly. And to everyone out
Of
there
course he would eat
that
this up,
says this
Gavin.
is a knock against him, folks, you can't have it both ways.
Yes, we
You
can.
can't be mad when the team loses and guys are seen smiling. And
Hey, Gavin, we have the right to not want this type of guy to be the leader of men in our locker room as an NFL player. So I'm sure there's plenty of NFL players who look at this dude like a total clown. Between the nail polish and demanding to be part owner of the team and all the other stupid things that come out of his mouth. So he's a typical ESPN clown. This is what or Andrew Siciliano, I keep calling him Gavin. Andrew Siciliano is, his estrogen is super high right now. He's about to get emotional.
Talking to the team that just beat them and exchanging jerseys, and also be mad when they're so upset that they lost that they're moved to tears. You can't just try to stick it in the emotional fairway off the tee every week and tell these guys who you criticize for being robots that they can't show emotion on one extreme or the other.
I don't think that's what everybody's mad about, Andrew. How about get in the locker room and show that emotion with your teammates and not make a skeptical and a fool out of yourself and jump into the stands and cry on your mommy's shoulder? Like, are you effing kidding me, you clown? But, you look like a clown, and you are a clown, and the way you talk pretty much dictates that you're a clown. So why am I not surprised?
You can't. They care. And they're allowed to cry.
Dude, this guy makes me sick.
How do you want him to react?
After this.
You want him to punch somebody? You want him to break something on this?
No, Andrew, he should go in the locker room and be with his teammates. That's what we want him to do. Okay? I know it's tough. I know you need to go shopping for your nail polish and, whatever it is you do.
Sideline. You want him to be Tom Brady and break his Microsoft Surface so then you can make fun of him for losing his cool for breaking his Microsoft Surface.
Exactly.
Right?
Oh, my God. I can't stand
Tom
this
Brady's
dude.
angry.
Exactly.
He's a sore loser. He broke the tablet. Is it the tablet's fault?
Right.
Right.
Is it your
the
estrogen
guy
is high?
cried.
Is that what it is, Andrew?
Undraftable. Drake May's my number one quarterback now. I'm going to take Penix over him. He didn't cry. Stop it. Just stop it. Please. I want a guy that cares. He cares. He's also really talented. Really, really.
So since he cares, that entitles him to be an emotional train wreck in front of the entire world. Every time something goes wrong, you're going to be an emotional, literally a literal train wreck, like a train. That's what. So when things go wrong, that's what you want the leader of your team to act like, to jump into his mommy's arms and she needs to cover his face with a newspaper and then it's all about him. Is that what you want, Andrew Siciliano? I mean, I know you were probably a cheerleader in high school, but get your emotions together.
Talented. Now, are you gonna hold it against him because he said he wants to go home and be with his dog?
I just
And
hate this
watch
dude.
shows?
Oh my God, I can't stand this guy.
I don't care. As
Welcome
long
to
as Monday morning he comes
2023.
to work ready to work hard, to fix the problems from the last loss, and to move forward.
Really?
What do you want him to say? I'm going to go home and get
Your estrogen
smashed.
went back down
Right.
to low, Andrew.
Yeah. I'm going to go home and get drunk.
Of course that's
Yeah.
what you do.
Do something
You're emotional
reckless
little
off
train
the
wreck.
field. No. It just goes to show you that
Hey, I heard Macy's is having a sale on high heels, 2 for $50, Andrew, if you want to, check it out.
you can't win for losing, and these guys are always going to be overly criticized. And look, I'm part of the business that does it. I get it. I understand. But I'm also trying to be fair. And fans always forget, not always, not all fans, but a lot of people do, that we're talking about human beings here. Guys that are compensated well to win.
Did anybody
and yes,
say
I
they
mean it
weren't
now. I
human
can say that about
beings?
college football. Caleb Williams is compensated really well. Really well. But is it his fault they're giving up 50 a game? 50 points a game. I think the real question with Caleb Williams should be, after all this talk, well, he's not going to leave. He's going to stay at USC if he doesn't get the team at the top of the draft that he wants to play for. I think the real question...
There he goes, being a little diva again. So let me get this straight. Not only does he want to be an NFL owner and never played it down yet in the NFL, if a certain team doesn't pick number 1, he's going to stay in college for another year and take the risk of getting hurt. It just shows you how immature and how an emotional little train wreck that he is, Caleb Williams. it shouldn't matter what team drafts you number one overall. It's your job to go in there and make them better and lead that team and change the franchise around and turn it into a winner. That's what winners do. That's what men do. That's what men who lead other men do. They go into bad situations and make them better. I know that's tough for Andrew Siciliano because obviously he's not a man, and neither is Caleb Williams. And I'll say it again. I would love to see Caleb Williams take the abuse that Shedeur Sanders took the entire year. And what did Shedeur Sanders do after games when he's taking a beating? He gets up there. He doesn't blame the offensive line. Doesn't blame it on anybody. He sits there and he answers the questions like a man. That's what a man does.
Should be if they can't stop anybody, and Lincoln Riley has to finally fire his defensive coordinator here in early November of year 2, does he want to go back to SC next year?
Or maybe he could just play hacky sack with you, and you guys could, paint each other's fingernails and wear skirts and high heels. Maybe that's what Caleb can do.
Is SC the right situation for him next year? Now, doesn't
It's all
change
about
where he
Caleb's
wants to
fragile
go
feeling.
in the NFL, but is going back to SC the right option if he doesn't get the NFL team he wants?
Like, this dude would really make an excuse for him if he doesn't get the NFL team he wants. So now, okay, hypothetically, you're guaranteed to be drafted number one overall in the draft. And you're like, oh, no, I don't like that team. I'm going back to college. And Andrew Siciliano would support that because obviously he's not a man. So he could relate to that.
That should be the conversation.
That should
And
be
I'm
the
not suggesting you go
conversation.
into the transfer portal.
Could you imagine?
I mean, I hear Prada's having sales too, Gavin. Andrew, whatever the hell your name is, doesn't really matter.
Dude.
Or maybe he should.
Look at all the clowns on this show that just agree with this tool bag and don't go against his little narrative that he's spinning. Like, it's just so 2023 is just a disgrace to men in general.
No, he's not going to find a better place than SC. And he's not going to find more money, I don't think, although who knows?
Who knows?
He's paid well.
Ooh, yeah.
Legally, through NIL deals.
Of course.
He's compensated well.
Very.
I think the question is, if he truly doesn't want to go to another NFL team, the one that takes him, do you just sit out? Just sit out. You made enough money. Jamar Chase sat out a year, much different.
That's what little dramatic queens do. Oh, I can't get what I want. I'll just sit out for the year. I won't play. Why would any NFL team take him as a number one overall pick with this diva attitude before he's even got into the NFL? Why would anybody in their right minds think that Caleb Williams could lead a team through the ups and downs and take a bad team and make it better when he's so fragile? And you have idiots like Andrew Siciliano who support this type of mentality.
Different circumstances with COVID, he did fine.
This dude makes me sick. I'm going to throw up after this.
He did just fine. This guy, Caleb Williams, is in the elite of the elite of the elite, where if he sits out,
The elite of the elite of the elite, but they lost 3 games
he will still
so far.
be the first or second pick. Period. Full stop.
Catch the Rich Eisen show every single day on the Roku channel.
Well, obviously you know how I feel about this. I'll say it again. Let Caleb Williams switch places with Shedeur Sanders, and he'd probably be a mental institution right now. And this is just typical of 2023. So you have an opportunity to change your life and be the overall number one pick in the draft. And if a certain team doesn't take you, you're going to sit out the year or go back to college because you're that fragile, because you're not a man and you can't be on a bad team and turn that team around. Like, this is the type of weak mentality that today most of men have today. Oh, I don't like that, so I'm not doing it. Oh, I don't want the Browns to draft me. Like, who's the worst team in the league right now? I don't even know who's the worst NFL team. Well, it doesn't matter who it is. It's still an NFL team, and they still have better offensive linemen and receivers than you do in college. But you're so mentally weak and you're so fragile. You would rather say, no, I'm turning down all that money and I'm just going to sit out and take my toys and, do my nails and, cuddle with my dog and watch my shows. Yeah, right. If I'm an NFL, GM, I'm not drafting Caleb Williams. I can tell you that right now. Joe Montana Tom Brady, Troy Aikman got absolutely destroyed, okay, for his rookie year with the Cowboys. Where they go 1-15, 1-15, 8-8, 10-6 playoffs, or went right to a Super Bowl after that. He got destroyed. But Caleb Williams, he thinks he's better and bigger than the process, right? You know, he doesn't want to break a nail, or he doesn't want to get dirty. But hey, welcome to 2023.